Hi everyone, I am sewing at my flea market shop and I'm turning this sweatshirt, just kind of doing something different with it, putting a design on it, and I thought I'd film it for you. This is an Enza brand. It does have this open bottom and it does have like a raw edge open bottom, a long sleeve. It's a nice weight, it's a lightweight sweatshirt. I've been selling a lot of this. I'm first of all going to remove part of the sleeve. I'm going to turn it into a 3/4 length sleeve. And decided to put this peace sign on it. And so I've just put a trace of the outer ring with a heat and bond light. I have 6 of these sweatshirts to make so that you'll see more of that design on that piece of heat and bond there. But I'm only going to be showing you the first one. And I always want to save this extra heat and bond light. I put it in a little container just because it's pricey and I use all of it. So I just kind of trim that away. I've chosen several scraps that I like with this color. It's kind of a salmon color, I would say. Kind of a rusty, peachy color. I flipped that ring over so the adhesive side is up and I am putting a school glue, just a thin layer of school glue on the adhesive side. I know this is really confusing and I've done this before and people are always questioning what am I doing, but I want to stick little pieces of fabric onto this heat and bond, and this is the easiest way that I have found to do it. Some people suggested maybe just spraying it with temporary glue or something, and you can certainly try that. I find this a little bit messier. I just spread that white glue into certain areas and then I'll add more. And my pieces are some bigger, some are a little bit, like this one is quite large. It's just kind of laying these in and then we'll be filling in any spots that I miss. I want that ring to be completely covered. I'm going to let that completely dry and then cut my ring out. Just fussy cutting it right on the drawn edge. Now flipping that over, and I'm going to be pressing this on both the front and the back, and that's going to activate the glue from the heat and bond. I want to get the center front of my sweatshirt, so I just line up the shoulder seam and the side seams, and I just press a center seam, just a fold in that. That really helps getting my design centered. And now that applique is ready to go and I can just peel that back paper away. I just kind of gently do that as I don't want to disturb any of those little pieces. And you can see it's shining. You can see that adhesive now. And then I can just use it as a solid applique, but real scrappy looking. It's just a fun way to add some interest to your design. Just finishing up the rest of this piece design just by using just longer pieces. This part of it I did not turn into a Scrappy. Just kind of fussing around with it, trying to decide the angle that I want. And then we'll be pressing this down. When I get this all in place, I just kind of took a look at it and I thought a little piece of trim or something would be kind of neat. And so I dug around and found something that has a pretty good match to the color that I'm looking for. And I'm just going to, you'll see it here, and I'm just going to add just a little bit of that Just cutting a couple of those little oblong circles out. It's like a crocheted trim. Maybe it was a table runner or something, but just thought that would look kind of neat there, just to add a little bit of detail. I'm going to just put this into place using, I believe I used a glue stick. This is just a temporary Elmer's glue stick, a school glue stick. Just let it completely dry before you take it to the sewing machine, and then I have no problems with anything gumming. One last thing I want to do is add a little bit of detail to this sleeve. I'm just cutting another couple squares or oblong shape, rectangle shaped. Again, this has heat and bond light on the back side of it, and I'm just going to press that into place about 5 inches above the bottom edge of that sleeve. If you've watched my videos, you've seen me do this just a couple videos ago. I've done this a lot to my shirts this summer from my summer shop, and I've had people really like it, and so I'm just continuing with it. I put those little rectangles on there, and then I'm going to get my punch, and I'm just going to make a hole right in the center of that. And then I'll be taking it to my sewing machine. There's always a little bit of fabric that needs to be removed from the back side. I'm just doing that now. I'm using a sulky thread, and this is it is like a multicolored, but it matches pretty good to the sweatshirt color. So that's what I'm going to be using. I do have my free motion foot on, and my feed dogs are dropped, so I'm just traveling here and just doing all the movement. I'm doing a real squiggly line on the outside of this design, and I'm going over it twice. So you can kind of see me just kind of going all over and just getting that design into place. I did not use a stabilizer on this, and it was fine. I didn't have, any stretching or anything. I think this sweatshirt fabric was just, substantial enough so I didn't need a stabilizer underneath. And then to add that little trim, again, I'm just free motioning that on, just going over all that a couple times just to get that into place. Now for the sleeve, I do need an open arm machine for this, and I'm going to slide that sleeve underneath or around that open arm. And again, just stitching the edges of this with my free motion stitching. And then I'm going to travel to the center and go around and around that hole. It would also work great to put a little buttonhole if you are confident with your buttonhole. Or I don't like making buttonholes, so I just prefer this. And that's all finished. I'm just going to roll these sleeves up and cut a little bit of fabric off of the bottom of this sleeve that I've already cut off. About a 1/2 inch, I suppose, 3/8 of an inch, a 1/2 inch. Going to give it a little tug just to kind of get it to curl, and then going to just get that through that hole and just tie this up. I have been telling people that they can certainly take this down for washing, or just take it down if they want the sleeve to hang loose. Thank you everybody who's watched me. I have 1 down and 5 more to go of these sweatshirts. I hope you enjoyed this. Happy stitching. Bye for now.